Hey friends, my name is Megan and welcome to episode 40 of a Naughty Mess Knitting Podcast. Welcome to May 9th. It's a Thursday, it's early in the morning. I have lots of fun things to share this week. We'll have a regular episode. I have a ton of progress. I have a finished object. I know. Are you shocked? I am. And we have a story where I lost at Yarn Chicken. Yeah, it'll be fun. Okay, I don't have any spinning. I did not put anything back on the wheel yet. I'm sort of planning some timelines for tests I need to get done. I did this to myself, I know. But I'm going to plan to get a larger project on the Ladybug this week. So that should be fun. Okay. We're going to jump into it. Today I have coffee. And my coffee mug is, oh, there's lipstick on it. But my little, in celebration of me losing Yarn Chicken, here is my Jam PDX Yarn Chicken mug. I got this at Flock last year. I think they'll be there at Flock this year. It's so cute. It's blue inside. It's the cutest mug I own. And I lost hard. Okay. But it's all going to be okay. So like, don't worry everybody. It's a happy story. We think. Okay, what am I wearing? This is the wood anemone. It is complete by Sorry Nordlin. It's done. It blocked beautifully. Okay, let's talk about what it is first, and then I'll stand up and sort of give you fit details and finish details. So this is a size 5. It's a 48.5 inch bust. The recommended ease is 2 to 6 inches. So I'm a little shy of that, you know, depending. And this, I use 3 needles. I used 3 millimeters for all of the ribbing, 4 for the body, and 3.5 for the lace. And this is Backloop Yarn Co. This is her cashmere sock and Surrey held together in the colorway Ghouls. This is 80% superwash merino, 10% nylon, 10% cashmere, 400 yards for 100 grams, and the Surrey is 328 yards for 50 grams, and it's the regular 74%. Baby Surrey alpaca, 26% silk. Okay, that's a mouthful. Just to tell you, it's gorgeous, and I love it. Okay, it is a circular yoke lace circular yoke pullover. Okay, I last week had done the sleeves, and I said I wasn't sure if they were going to be too short because I was running out of Surrey, and I for sure ran out of Surrey. Like, finished, I waited, I did some math, I finished exactly 12 rounds. Did I do a full 12? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, I did my 12 rounds of ribbing that I wanted. And I was like thinking the body was going to be very short, but I got measurements. I got right to the 9 inches, and I knew I was going to be close with the Surrey because I only got 3 skeins from Erin. This was my payment yarn for doing the Phaedra in this same color. And I got 3 skeins of sock and 3 skeins of Surrey, which was what was used in the Phaedra. So I got like equivalent. I knew I was going to be close, but I dipped into, I got to keep the leftovers from the Phaedra. So I dipped into that Surrey, which was a tiny bit lighter batches of yarn, just like a very tiny bit. So I did alternating the last 2. I did a lot of math, and I got to tell you, it's perfect. Okay. I should get a chair out of the way. Here we are. Look how cute it is. The sleeves are actually a great length. I did stretch them a tiny bit when I blocked, but I did not pin anything to block this. I laid it on my little mesh mat and just put it out. So cute, right? I think it's very adorable. Okay, let's check out the back. I did add, I don't even know if we really talked about this. I added short rows in the back. So the back does sit, you know, kind of on the same line as the front, which is nice. It doesn't like pull up at all. My shoulders are sitting nicely here. Seriously, it opened so beautifully. I am wearing a tank top with this. It does go kind of lower than I thought. Like this is like right below mid bust even. So like I could get away wearing a solid color bra or whatever, but I'm just wearing a camisole that goes, you know, all the way across the top there. I am in love with it. Oh, by the way, I don't know that I mentioned this until since like the first episode of me starting this, but there in the pattern as written, it is bubbles all along, kind of like along the leaf edges, or like this part of the leaf. I don't know, somewhere, but there's like 2 large sets of baubles in these leaves, and I elected no baubles, which is, and sorry, writes this in the pattern, that's what she decided to do for her blue sample. That's like all the pattern photos. You can go on to Ravelry and look at the projects, and there are plenty of people that do this with baubles. I don't like the look as much with baubles because I feel like it pinches up the leaf a little bit, like personal preference. And I just wanted this like sleek line. Plus I totally would have run out of yarn if I did baubles, like absolutely, because there were so many of them. So I'm glad I did not, and I love it. I'm very happy. I did not lose yarn chicken on this. Like, I mean, I seriously have like 1 string of Surrey left that's like this long, and that is all, which is very satisfying. I love to be complete with a yarn. I have some of the sock left over, which I really just love this color, so I don't know, maybe I'll throw it into something at some point in the future. Fit wise, I think the fit is pretty nice. The short rows, again, there's no short rows in the yoke, so the short rows are underneath, which really just helps with like the hem to not be like a weird length. It doesn't really scoot your back neck up at all. I have worn this twice already. Yes, I did finish this on Thursday last week, like Thursday evening. I powered through. I also didn't realize I was so close because I think we had talked about this during the episode. Like I had a little bit left to do. I did a few rows at work. I was stressed about the amount, so I kept weighing it. And then I was like, I just have to start this band. I'm gonna run out of yarn. It's a lot less cropped than I thought it was gonna be. Like it's totally fine length. So I just at night I just powered through the bind off and the hem and bind off and washed it. And then I wore it to we did knit brunch on Saturday, wore it to that, and I wore it to work on Monday. I will probably just wear it again today because I didn't really have any meetings. Or I guess it was Tuesday. I'll just wear this every day. It's fine. I love it. I'm very happy. Okay, so that's my finished object and what I'm wearing. And let's go right into projects. I'm going to talk about every project on the needles today except for the Haley. I still did not pick that up. I'm going to do a little bit more project math here, but I think I will pick it up this weekend. I think that's the right move so that I'm not stressed about it just sitting there for many, many months. I need to get it done. And I want to get it done. And I probably won't wear it, you're right, in the summer. That's correct. I probably will wait till the fall, but my office is cold. Like maybe I'll get 1 or 2 wears in. I definitely didn't think I'd wear this like more than once for an episode, but it's been really nice spring days here, but my office is chilly. It's still chilly in the morning. And sometimes when I get back from my walk with the dog at lunchtime, I don't put it back on, but if I have meetings, I pretty much do anyway. So I'm not like sweating in here. It's fine. Okay. First project we're going to talk about is the Flower Vortex blanket, which is a pattern by Sanita Brenson, who is Bright Bag on Instagram. Let's review. Here's where we are. It's a very fun honeycomb hodgepodge right now because I was playing with colors and like I didn't like anything I had. I have three more that are not sewn on, I think, flowers. I didn't like any of the colors I had for this, so I left a hole. And so this will cinch in quite a lot, and then that row will be done. And that's a 5 row. And I think It's hard to tell. Hold on. And then I did 3 across the top, so I'm missing 1 on this end. So I think the consensus is that I do like a sort of a bricky pattern of 5-4, 5-4 rather than offset 5 rows. I also like it because I'll be done faster. So I have a good amount connected. What I do think I'm going to do is I'm going to put these on, and I think I need 2 more full rows. That's what I believe the deal is. So I think that's a 5 and a 4 no matter which side I put that on, right? So because I'm at the bottom, I have a 5. Maybe this is a 4 actually. Oh no, I have a 4. So it's a 5 and a 4, and it'll go on the bottom or the top collectively. Or I have to do 2 5 rows, and that's likely not what I'm gonna do. To be honest. But we'll see. So I think that'll give me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 rows by 5, and I think that's a good amount of baby coverage. This is like gonna be big enough to sit at the end of a kid bed, or just be on the floor or do whatever. As a reminder, this is all acrylic scraps, worsted weight, of all the types. I absolutely could not tell you. I would say the majority of these are probably like Big Twist, Red Heart, and yeah, probably that's the majority of them. Some like Pound of Love, that kind of thing. I would like to get this done in the next 2 weeks, so I'm just gonna power through some of these last outliers. I do need to like sit down, look at colors that I have together, and just like put together some of the flowers. I have 3 flowers left over, and so I think I need 11 to be sewn on still, so that means I need to make 8. And so I just want to look through and make sure I don't make them all purple or what have you, which is something I would tend to do. Okay, I love it though. I flash up the picture all the time, right? And just a reminder, this pattern is written for fingering or sport weight yarn, and like color changing yarn is the only picture she has for it. There's no picture of a full-size blanket on the pattern, and there are like almost no pictures on, or no projects on Ravelry. So I have free, and I mean, the pattern is written to for every round you could change color. Like she writes in either continuing in the same, like what stitch you do, or if you're joining a new one, where you join the yarn, etc. So it's you know, I just chose a needle size, or chose a hook size that would get me a flower that was sitting mostly flat without any assistance, and went with it, which I think I'm using a 4mm. I think that's what I'm using. So here it is in all its glory. It's very funky. It's fun. It's like gives me super 70s vibes, but that's in right now. She'll enjoy it. She's a child. Okay, let's go on to project number 2, which is and this is cast on order. So my Scotchbroom Wrap, which is what got the most attention this week, and where I lost Yarn Chicken. I lost by not a whole lot, but here's what happened. I think last episode I had finished up on the body, the second ball of yarn I had. I finished one sleeve, and then had the second ball of yarn completed on the body. I had finished all of my increase rows, and so I knew I was close to being done the body, but I didn't know if I wanted to add some length, etc. I wanted my other sleeve on before I really made that decision, because this is a drop shoulder-esque, and so the sleeve does help like figure out where exactly like the body fits. So I finished sleeve 2. These sleeves take like a half of a ball of yarn, like fully 50 grams of yarn. It's a lot. I didn't notice it in the first one as much because I was like in the middle of doing stuff, but then I weighed, you know, to figure out how much I had left of body, and I was like, oh shucks. So I did a couple of rows of body extra, And then I was like, I need to get onto this waistband or I'm going to be in big, big trouble. And I did not want a non-matching waistband. So I took this to knit day 2 and I had just like kind of started the sleeve there or like right before. And then I finished the sleeve, moved on, tried it on, and I was like, I'm going to have to block this buddy. I'm going to have to block it like pretty aggressively. Not crazy. It's just that my row gauge is off and this yarn is super springy. So I know I can block it out a bit and it'll stay. Like it's not gonna, it's also because it's a wrap and where you tie it and how tight you tie it and like all of those pieces are gonna kind of dictate where it sits. So I just decided to move on to the waistband, and the waistband is a good amount of stitches. You know, it does add like a fully like 2 inches, I think. So it actually sits really nice. I tried it on to see how much more I need to finish on this tie side, which I did the direction that's requested right in the pattern. And the second side you do is the side that wraps around your back. And the reason you know this is because, let's go through this. So you're knitting this cardigan style with extra increases. When you get to the waistband, you essentially are doing, you know, like I did for the I-cord for the ballerina wrap top, you make a certain length, which this is something like 23 or 24 inches. And then you, these stitches are all on hold for the body, which I actually really loved this. You increase a little bit to give your body a little bit more space, but the reason the ties are not super as wide is because you have to tie them, right? You don't want them to be huge and floppy, and plus that would take a ton of yarn. So it's hard to see because this is like such a deep blue color. So these are on hold and you're essentially just like knitting with the waistband stitch, right, together for each round that you're going. You do one knit together, one from the waistband per pass. So including going back, you're purling one in the first stitch, right? So you're just getting rid of these relatively quickly, but it doesn't, what's nice is like it doesn't stretch out the fabric at all, and it doesn't also like let it cinch in too much because this is going to be pretty weighty. Like I think it's going to look really nice and pretty flat along that side. Okay. Then at some point you basically just put some stitches on hold, you skip them, you do a couple rows without it, and then you continue with your decreases. I do have a scrap of yarn from somewhere. I don't need a lot, and they showed how to do it. I have this this sleeve is essentially, maybe it's the other one, going to be my, like I have one kind of longer sleeve end than the other, and it's going to be my cast off for that. So this is already sewn in and I just need a little bit to essentially do like a little sewn bind off for those 6 stitches. Okay, so that's like the one thing that's not done other than my side. So anyway, I popped this into, and because you do have to pick a side, so as you're going through, your first armpit is the place where you place your cast off stitches, which I place mine a little bit far back, but I don't actually hate that. It's nice for where it sits. So this is the second side. So I need this to go, it's across my body already, but I need to go through the waistband hole all the way around my back and have enough to tie. I can tell you this is not enough. This is not enough from the pattern measurements, but also in the pattern, I don't think they're estimating enough. I think you need almost double what the inch estimation is. And other people have said that too, so it's not just me. But that's actually a ton of yarn left. Like I need 15-ish grams, maybe, to finish this. So I don't have any. I have none left. I sort of, as soon as I finished the sleeve and weighed the yarn, I panic knew this. So I just knit on this like crazy. Like this waistband was not fast, but I did it very quickly because I was like, I need to know how much trouble I'm in. Okay. I put the call out on the D-Stash Discord and I was like, please, does anybody have this very specific yarn? Not knowing that the dyer is actually on the D-Stash Discord. And then no one answered me for like a couple hours, and which is fine. I'm not like, I am impatient, but I figured I'd also reach out to Brooklyn because this, again, as a reminder, was free yarn I won from a giveaway on Instagram from Thistle House Yarns. And I won it with 2 skeins of an alternating color, which is this one here called Bell Metal, this one. Okay, so I just messaged, and like, so Brooklyn and I had messaged before, and I messaged her and I said, hey, I'm in a little bit of trouble. I'm doing a test knit and I very much don't have enough yarn. And I was like, I see you still have 10 Fathom C online. Do you have any dyed up already? Because I need this to be done by the 17th of May, which is, 10 days from when I messaged her. And she said, no, I don't actually have any dyed up. But she was not at her house. And she said, I think I might have some scraps. And I said, because I told her how much. I was like, I need like 15 grams. She had a mini, essentially. She has 20 grams of fingering left over. And she very kindly sold that to me and sent it out in the mail. So I don't have it yet, which is why it's not done. But I will have it very shortly. And then I will aggressively block this. And I will be done with this test knit on time. I could block it before I get this here, but I'm just probably not going to. maybe I'll get a, like, maybe I'll just want to do it tonight. Like I could, because this is not gonna, I might not even soak this in the wash because I don't need this to get deformed in any way. I just need the body to get real wet and to pin it on the mats. To be fair, when I try this on pre anything, right, pre-blocking, still not having enough yarn to tie, I can pull it down where it's like, it's cropped, but it's not like up at my belly button. It does sit okay. I just don't want to be fighting with it while I'm wearing it. So I would like to just block it out a little lengthwise, which I also think my stitches will look nicer if they're just tugged a little because of this, unbalanced yarn. So anyway, here we are. It looks gorgeous. I mean, like, how good is this color? By the way, I did bring this out at knit night, and I was sitting next to Charlotte or knit day. But Charlotte is the one color in the world she doesn't like is blue, and like this shade of blue. And I pulled it out and she just literally goes, ugh. She is a fall, so this makes sense, right? She is not drawn to these winter colors, and I so am. Both of these, I'm like, give me more icy blue and give me all of the deep jewel tones. So can't wait for this to be done. I'm very excited, and I'm glad I did it. And I actually really thought, like, I thought this waistband was really cute, and putting it on with the sleeves, it's like so cute. And I showed Mike and he was like, ooh, and I was like, I know, date night, right? It's always nice to have your significant other celebrate your yarn things with you. Okay, that is a size 5. It's 46 inches in the bust. Recommended ease is 0 to 4 inches. I used 4mm needles for everything. I think I switched to 3.5mm needles for the cuffs only because you do the band contiguously. Anyway, this is Thistle House Yarns fingering in 10 Fathom C, 100% 19.5 micron superwash merino, 3-ply, 438 yards, 400 grams. This yarn has been a joy to work with. Brooklyn is awesome. A lot of her stuff is dyed to order online, so if you're interested, I just think it's like it's so pretty. And this yarn is interesting. I don't have any of her DK weight yarn on hand anymore, though I did have some, which is what I gave away my first little 1,000 subscribers giveaway. and in 2 colors. Yeah, really pretty yarn. And her DK is like very traditionally, like I think a 231 for 100 grams kind of thing. So let's talk about, oh, another project that got some work. So once I finished this, I was like, you know what? No, this one does not have a deadline. Well, sort of. It is part of a knit along for Iris Makes, and I do want to get it done. More importantly, though, I just needed to be done the yoke, you guys. Like, I so desperately needed to be done the yoke. So I made it happen. Here we are, everybody. Yoke complete. This is the back. This is the front. Can you tell the difference? Okay, yoke complete. I have to say, too, I definitely liked working with this. I've been working with a lot of fingering weight yarns lately, but this Cashmere Caverns base is so like plump and soft when you're working with it. I like really enjoy knitting with it. So another reason why I just wanted to kind of like work on this week, I wanted to get it to a place where I could move on. So, where did I get? So I had to do I finished all the increases, and then I had to do to 9 inches, I think, on the front measurement before, the collar, and then split for sleeves. So I powered through that last night. Then I split for sleeves, and did some body rows and ran out of my ball of yarn. So I don't even know, like my end is very short. Gosh. Yep. I just went until I already have another ball wound up. I just didn't feel like going to get it last night, so I moved on to something else after this. But I just feel like that's a, you know, monumental in a fingering weight garment to get to split for sleeves. So I feel really nice about that. I think overall it's looking really cute. Yeah, you can tell this is not a Megan color. You're right. But I'm gonna adjust this light a little. But it is what it is, and I am going to enjoy wearing it. It's very summery. I like it in this pattern a lot, just like it's joyful. I did make an adjustment. My adjustment was to number of cast on stitches for the sleeve. So I did not give myself a lot of extra room, like 1.5 inches, I think. So what I ended up doing is I counted off the first part of the, whatever it was, the back, the first part of the back, before I would put these on sleeves for my last, this is at my last increase, which was like maybe 6 rows before I was ready to split for sleeves. And then I just did all like the same double increases. So I really gave myself like 7 or 8 stitches, 7 extra stitches or something in the sleeve. But what I also decided is I cast on the 12, like the what I should have for the underarm. But normally what I do is I also pick up, so you don't get underarm holes, I'll pick up 2 extra on each side. So I can kind of show you where they are on this. So normally I pick up like total of 4 extra sleeve stitches. I pick up this one right here, like right underneath, and then I pick up this one right here at the crease. So those are not stitches, like the first actual pickup stitch I would have is this one right here where this finger is. That's my first column of knit stitches. So I pick up right next to it in the crease, and then I pick up right below what would be like where your first stitch is off of here. Like I pick up this one underneath of it. So normally what I do is I will slip knit and knit 2 together those stitches, either like, it's a little confusing. There's a YouTube video or an Instagram video on somebody's method for this that I just kind of borrowed and have done for a while. But normally what I do is like, if you start in the middle stitches, I will pick up one after the last knit stitch in your the ones that you're picking up. Then I will and I don't pick up and knit. I just pick up the yarn hole, like, so that I'm not, again, creating more, I don't want to create more volume there. I just want to like close that hole up without having to sew it down, essentially. So I will just pick up this stitch and then hold it, and then pick up this other one underneath of, you know, the next knit stitch, and I will knit that together at the time, like that I knit that first stitch. So what I'll do instead is I will just pick up those 2 stitches on either side and add them to what I'm doing. And yes, this does have a sleeve pattern, but I haven't really read it through, but I'll just make adjustments for where my sundials are in the sleeves. And the sleeves are not very long, and it's okay if they don't match the body exactly. I need the extra length, and so I'm going to do it. But that'll give me a total of like 12 extra stitches, almost 11. Maybe it was 11. Anyway, something like that, which gives me like 1.5 inches. So it gives me a good amount of room without having to like mess with other things that I could have figured out earlier to do like extra increases in the sleeve side. And I didn't figure that out, and that's okay. So, and I think it'll be fine. It's just that it's already going to be a fitted sleeve. I just didn't want it to feel like too pinched. So all that to say, hooray, I split for sleeves. I do need to post this in the Discord for Hire Speaks and celebrate that. Okay, that is a size 5. It's 44 inches. Recommended ease is 0 to -3 inches. So I'm at -3. It is 3mm needles for the body, 2.5 for the collar, and 2.5mm for the collar. And that's Explore Knits and Fibers Cashmere Caverns in the colorway Grapefruit, which was at Summer Market last year. And it is 80% superwash merino, 10% cashmere, 10% nylon, 435 yards for 100 grams. So again, I love a cashmere blend, but these are really different. So the Cashmere Caverns and Backloop Yarn Co.'s cashmere sock are different. Same composition, but that one is a 4-ply with the Cashmere Caverns is a 4-ply with 437 yards, which puts it at like a regular figuring. And this is a 2-ply at 400 yards for 100 grams. And it's definitely like the plump fingering, right? Like a slightly denser one. Which is interesting then, because the next one we're going to talk about is the Market Henley. And I have 3 cast-ons this week. So strap in here. Let's get ready for this. The Market Henley. This is a test knit for Claire Jackson, who is Perfectly Knotted on Instagram. And it is a top-down drop shoulder waffle stitch Henley. The picture will be here, or will have already flashed up. It's gorgeous. I cannot wait to have this. I really have been wanting like an all over, like a waffle stitch. I really like that like design, but I wanted it to be a Henley, and there really weren't any patterns out there that were fitting both of those buckets. And then here comes Claire with best design. Super excited. I am making a size, I don't think she does numbers because, okay, so let's talk about this for a second. I have tested for Claire before. I have a couple of other patterns from her, but she has a very unique pattern writing style in that she does, I think, more incremental sizes than most other designers. And I think part of that is like, hey, if I'm going to do the math, I'm going to just do the math, right? And she's got to have some good Excel sheets for this. So more power to her. I think that's really awesome because it really allows you to pick more freely. She's always making size inclusive patterns. This one, and like the Pillars of Simplicity that I've made before, you work off of, and I don't remember if that was the case for Pillars of Simplicity. Okay, but this one, she basically writes the pattern with blanks, and it says a blank, and then there's like a little, like a letter behind it. So A, B, C, D. For most pages, it's kind of just A, B, C, D. And then there's a bunch of charts, and it gives all the sizes. So I think there's like 14 sizes or 11 sizes for this, something like that. And across your size, it gives your size number at the top. So like your bust inch number. So I'm making 52-inch bust. So it says a 52-inch bust, and then it has your A, B, C, D numbers. So you have to go in and fill in the numbers for all of this. It's really not any different than having 30 numbers across the line this way, except for it's a lot easier to read while you're making while you're actually doing the pattern if you fill it in. I filled mine in on my iPad, and so I just went into every page, I blew it up a little bit, I wrote in the numbers for each section, and then I just did that for the whole pattern through. And I just like, crossed down through the table just so I knew I stayed on the right numbers the whole time. Makes it so much easier when you're reading the pattern, because you're really just reading this little box, like, little boxes of text and that have your filled in number, not like a ton of things you have to search through and accidentally, read the wrong number here or there. It's a pretty long, it does make her patterns, like, I don't know. I guess it makes them a little bit longer because it has all these tables in between, but I think like the way that it's broken up, they're pretty easy to read. She does write, I think, more like adventurous, beginner friendly patterns, because she typically does put in those, explanations. Okay, so we're going to do this thing next, which is why you're doing this. So continue on here. Being in the tester group, it's actually been pretty interesting because there's definitely a lot of people who want those directions for something like this. And this is a sloped shoulder, a drop shoulder knit. So think like the clay, where your short rows shape your shoulders to be a true U. So where I will pick up and pull across the front panel will be longer because the sloped shoulder will sit like on the back of my shoulder, not right on top. There are definitely some people in our test group who have never done that before, because there have been a couple of questions. So I think she'll put some more clarifiers in just on measurements of certain things, of why they are how they are. So I'm making a bust size 52. I don't think it has a number. The recommended ease is 4 to 6 inches. Positive. I am using, I wrote this down and then I actually don't know that it's true. Hold please. I did my gauge swatch and I think I decided to go down a needle size. So I think I am using I'm using a 3.5 millimeter needle. This is a pattern that the texture is gonna grow, like it's just going to, more so probably weight, like with weight, it will pull this down, which, okay, I'm sneak peeking you, but like, isn't that gorgeous? It'll pull down a little bit, but it also will stretch this way if you stretched it. My intention, because I'm right at gauge for stitch and row, I'm actually pretty accurate for both. With a light steam on my block, I did not soak it. I was like, okay, this is one of those that I'm gonna have to like not pin. I'm not gonna plan to pin this at all. I'm going to just wash it, and then when I lay it out, I'm gonna make sure I'm not stretching it weirdly in any direction, because it could stretch. And I don't want it to. I want that waffle stitch to be waffly. I don't want it to be like really stretched out. Okay, this is Explore Knits and Fibers Denali sock in the colorway Flock, which is their superwash merino nylon blend. 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon, 400 yards for 100 grams. So it has been a total fun pattern to make. Okay, let's go. I have this on my double Lazy Susan, my double pirouette called the Pas de Deux. I do have them both loaded just so that they don't get all tangly, because I am alternating skeins, right? Like I'm not holding double, I'm just alternating skeins. I did not alternate in my short rows. You can alternate in short rows if you really need to. I felt like it, I just worked through the first like 2 or 3 rows and I was like, this is pretty even looking. I'm not really worried about like that. It's more so, I think between my balls, they're going to have like, one's going to have a little more orange, one's going to have a little more blue, one's going to look a little bit lighter. Like it is what it's going to be with this many colors in a variegated. So I want to make sure I am helical knitting the body so that I don't, when I introduce a new skein, I'm not getting like weird things happening. It's so pretty. What I do love is like, yes, this is a lot of color, but even so, you can definitely see this waffle stitch. Like even from way back here, you can tell it's textured. So here it is up close and personal. What is it focusing on? There we go. Yeah, it looks so pretty. This light is blowing it out a little bit. Like I think it looks a little bit more rich in color live. Like this is pretty accurate here. When you get up close, it's doing weird things kind of, but yeah, I'm totally loving it. It's a very, everybody in the test keeps calling it like potato chippy, and it is because you're doing something different every row, but it's a 4-stitch repeat or 4-row repeat. It's not very difficult to remember what you're doing. It's a 3-stitch 4-row repeat, I guess. But yeah, it's just not, it's not hard. Like, and this is just a traditional waffle stitch. Like I'm not going to give anything away saying that. Like you can look up a waffle stitch and that's what Claire used. She does her short row shaping though is really smart in where she incorporates them, how they fit into the pattern. I felt like they flew by. Like I did all the short row shaping basically in one night. I just cast on and did it all at once. And then I have since done, I think 3 repeats, and I have like 11 to do in the back before I move on to the front. I just, I really wanted the Sundial yoke to be done. So I wanted to do more of this last night, but I didn't even any of this last night. So I will start working on this in earnest. This test is not due until April. Wow. We're going back in time, everybody. No, this test is not due until August 1st. So it'll be done by Flock, and I'm going to be working on this like a lot more because I'm having so much fun, and I can't wait actually to do this in the round. That'll be nice. Because there is an all pearl row, which I don't care about. It's totally fine. But I do love when you pull the shoulders onto something like this. And then I also get to do like buttonholes, but there's only 3. So it's like very exciting. This is like a very fun sort of mix of what you get to do in construction and texture. And then I think like sleeves will just fly by. So yeah, I'm really excited. And I'm excited to get that yarn on the needles. Like, I mean, it's so pretty. It's really not something I think I would love for myself as much as I do because of all this orange, but like, you know, who am I? Just a deep winter who loves a pop of orange, apparently. This is why I keep acquiescing to orange things, but it does. It's really nice. And I just wanted to get some more things I had purchased at Flock on the needles or from Summer Market last year before I go to Flock. Yes, I purchased more yarn towards the end of the year too in some pre-orders, and I've used some of that already and some of it I haven't. And I'll just keep pushing through it. I think let's talk about the next things, and then I'll tell you 1 or 2 next things I have after all of these. So really I have the Scotchbroom is almost done. So let's count that not really on the needles because I just have that little part to finish. I really only have 4, I have 5 things on the needles plus the Haley, and that's an okay place to be for me actually. I just need to make sure I don't get stalled on anything. Which is, I think, part of the reason I want the Sundial to be done so badly is I just wanted to like make sure that I didn't get stuck on the yoke, because that could happen. I could just put it down and be like, I feel that this is taking too long. And I like circular yokes. I don't mind them. There is something about a raglan that feels like it goes faster, and I think it's partly because you're consistently increasing. So like it's always getting a little bit longer. But like circular yokes, it's like bam, every 8th row you're suddenly like 30 stitches more, and it's just like it's mentally harsh. Okay. The next thing is another test knit. So this is called the Mixed Rib Cami. Again, don't know if that's going to be the final name, but this is a pattern by Florence Miller, who is Handmade by Florence on Instagram. And this is my first pattern by Florence, and I'm really loving it. Actually, the construction is interesting. And we'll see how the fit is. I almost have okay, here's what I did. through the pattern and I'm between sizes. When am I not between sizes? Always. So I had originally signed up to do a size 5 for this, which she doesn't have finished measurements for any of the sizes, which I don't love, but she does give you, like, if you're this size, then then just pick the size that's appropriate. But the range is between 10 and 15 centimeters smaller with what the pattern ends up being. Like, it's a negative ease camisole. So I am making the size F because when I read through it, it was 115 or 125. I am 120. I'm like directly in the middle centimeters. So it's like 45 or 49 and I'm 47. Okay, well, 10 to 15 is kind of a large range on either side. I did some math with what the gauge should be and what my, what the gauge should be and how much negative ease that was going to give me. And I was a little nervous at 115 because it was a lot of negative ease, more than 15 centimeters. So on me, because I'm in between size. So I decided to just err on the side of caution and do the bigger one. I'm not going to care if it has a little bit less negative ease as long as it's not positive ease. But what I do have to say is, and I'm pretty on for gauge. Okay, the other thing about this is the yarn. So I am using, so let me just tell you the things really quick. I'm making a size F. It's for 125 centimeter bust with 10 to 15 centimeters built in negative. I can't give you the final best measurements because I don't know what it's going to be. It's I think I'm using 3 millimeter needles. 3 millimeter needles for the body. This is what is recommended. I think I stayed at that size. And this is a woolly knit cone held single in the color Bias, which is my Calm Down cardigan leftovers. It's 100% merino, 514 yards for 100 grams. So it's a light fingering. A bunch of people who are doing this are using Knitting for Olive merino, which is also a light fingering. It's like 500 yards for 100 grams or something like that. It's very similar. So let's just talk about this. I feel like maybe it's going to be a little bit big, but also like this is all I've got for arm increases and I don't have a whole lot more left. This is the back. So like maybe this is not going to feel big at all. Maybe this is going to be like the appropriate size. It's a mixed rib, so it's going to be, it could be super stretchy, but obviously I don't want it to stretch out that much. The other thing, because this is a non-superwash and because I have washed this yarn before and know how it reacts, I've only washed it when it's been held double, so I don't know everything. But it doesn't actually produce more stretch. It gets like, not like felted, but it does, like, it sticks to itself. It blooms and it's gonna be kind of what I expect. Like it's not gonna drape a lot more. It'll be kind of how it is right now, just a little more filled out in my stitches. So we're just gonna go with it. I'm almost done the armhole increases. I'm very close. I think I have like 3 more, which is like 6 more stitches to add, maybe something like that. And then I get to move on to the top. I read this pattern and to be quite frank, I was at first like, what the heck am I doing? But yeah, so this is the back. Then you pick up armbands. And I think that's what confused me because I was like, I thought it's a high sitting yoke. So this is the back. And then you just pick up stitches on the side to decrease a little bit, make your sort of shoulder strap. You increase a little bit. Well, this will be on the back, right? So you do it this way. To decrease a little, to increase, like they're really short just across your top shoulder. And then I'm going to cast on for the front. And then the front will mimic the back almost exactly. And then I will do the arm increases for the front and then join. And that's it. I think you do I-cords around the armholes and I-cords around the neck, which I'm going to use my Cordsmith, so that'll be great. And that's it. So new cast on. I did all of like this in one sitting though, so it goes by pretty quickly. The mixed rib. So sorry, I can show you a little closer. The mixed rib is I don't want to like stretch it too much to show you because I feel like it won't be super stretched when I block, but it's this knit through the back loop. It's like, it's just a twisted rib with knit columns, like stockinette columns. I mean, that's all it is, but it's a very pleasing kind of pattern. Like from back here, you know, you can see these like little twisted stitches. Yeah, I like it. I obviously love the color. I can't wait to have something to wear under my Calm Down cardigan that is the same color. I just feel like it's going to be such a cute outfit. I'm definitely wearing that on the podcast. And for pictures, I have not done any test knits for sleeveless things. So we'll see what pictures I end up posting because I don't like my arms to be out, and I'm probably not gonna put my arms on Instagram, to be frank. So we'll see what I come up with, but I will likely just have like my Calm Down cardigan open and pose that way. I like that I'm already thinking about Instagram pictures and I'm like not even a quarter way through this. But I have a ton of yarn left over, so I can also make this as long as I want. And Florence has been open to like changes, though I don't think it's necessary to make a lot of changes since you're not gonna have like armhole length. Like there's a lot of things. It's more just like will your arm increases sit at the right place. But I think for, you know, already I'm gonna be fine. I'm excited to get the front joined. I don't know how quickly I'm going to get through this. I have 5 weeks left, I think, in the test. Let me tell you. I think this is due June 5th, and I don't know like how hard that deadline is. We haven't gotten our feedback forms yet or a Ravelry tester code. But we're in an Instagram chat. One thing I did like, because I don't like Instagram chats for testing because I think you lose like the helpful pieces, is that there's a chat part, and people haven't really put any questions in there that much yet, but there is sort of like an info only one too, where Florence is putting out like announcements and other things, so you're not losing. So that one doesn't have really any activity on it other than the things that she has posted, but that's actually kind of nice because it's easy to find and go back and see what was written. But people have been sharing pictures, and seriously, everybody's doing this in Knitting for Olive, which will be very cute, but I'm glad to be doing it in something different to give people an idea that you can use different yarn. I mean, there's light fingering is a little bit like lighter of a genre of like easy to find things, like less hand dyed yarn in light fingering. So, which this looks great in a solid. Yeah, so June 5th, I do have to get through this relatively quickly, but I'm not panicked, and it is really enjoyable. It's very, this will be my desk knit for the next couple of days. Well, for the rest of today, just to get the increases done. I will have to pay attention to do the straps, but as soon as I pick up the front, I'll also put it back at my desk, because maybe I'll do that tonight. Because I don't have to like look like this is not hard to do. What I will say, it'll be really nice to join it in the round, because doing a twisted rib flat is annoying. That's all I have to say about it. Okay, let's talk about our knit along. Thank you so much to everybody who's joined. We've got a couple, I don't know, a dozen people on the Discord, which is so fun. There's an intro channel, which people have been, given a little background on themselves, which is fun. And then there is just like the summer knit along. So I cast on Friday and did like 5 rows. I did not do very much because I was undecided on the order of my yarn colors, because they look great, all of them next to each other. So I wasn't sure. What I will say is, after the episode last week too, I did remember that I have an extra skein of Alto Stratus. I think it's called Alto Stratus, which is this gray color. Actually, it's my second stripe. I'm connected to too much yarn here. Hold on. This little beautiful gray. It actually looks kind of similar to the gray I'm wearing today. It's like a purpley bluey gray. I had a skein of that and I was like, ooh, maybe that is what I wanted to do. But what I will say is that when I held each color next to it from the minis pack, linen looks better with all of them individually, especially because there's like the really light blue. So I didn't, I didn't want to like lose the kind of the contrast between these two, and also this one. And this one, because this is rose quartz, because Ariel just did her Vertices Unite, and I know that these two next to each other does not actually have enough like depth contrast. And you will, like, I would lose this stripe kind of. With linen, I don't have that problem. Every single color has a good pop with it, even the gray. So I decided to just keep this as the base. It'll be really versatile in my closet too. I mean, it's not like I don't like, obviously I don't hate it. I have that other shirt I was wearing last week. The staple is like this color. So this is where I am. I wanted to have one of every stripe done, but I just didn't really pick this up after like Monday. But I took this to knit night. I keep calling it knit night, knit Saturday. I did not knit on it there, but I just wanted opinions on the color order. So Charlotte loves playing this game, and she just like took all my minis and put them in order and then flopped them around. And so we knew that like the one on the end would look good with the one on the other end, because they're gonna, continue. And someone was like, oh, you could also just not do them all in the same order. And I was like, too much chaos. I need less chaos. But yeah, so we picked an order. Well, Charlotte picked an order. Everyone else agreed on it. I said, great. I did not want to think about it. And so that is the order I'm going on. I took a picture on my phone, and that's where I decided. And I decided to start with our darkest stripe first, which is Chinley. I really don't know that I could give you the names of all of these colors, and I didn't look back at Explore Knits and Fibers. So someone tell me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure. And I won't give you the order that I'm putting them on, because that's on my phone and I don't know what it is. But I'm pretty sure we have here linen as the base. This is Chinley. I do know that. This is Daybreak. Pretty sure that's correct. This is Rose Quartz. I'm also pretty sure that's correct. This is Alto Stratus, the gray. I do know that's correct because I have a skein of this, and they're the same color. Even dyed years apart, because this is Summer Market 2023, and that Alto Stratus is something I got with her old label from like probably 2020, 2021. That's pretty good. Consistency. And then this is the one I don't know. This is, does anyone know? Not Spindrift. I don't have anything. I don't know. Literally. Maybe it is Spindrift. I don't know. It could be any color. Who knows? If you know, let me know. I should ask Sylvan, because she would know, but I forgot. Yes. So here we are. Here is where we are with the Knit Along Knit. I'm very excited. I like it very much, and I can't wait. Oh, sorry. Like, let's go through the details on that one. This is my stripy turtle tank. Can't you tell? Which is a pattern by Emily Curtis. That is what the Knit Along is. The Knit Along is Emily Curtis summer patterns. Knit with us. In a lead up to flock, get a summer pattern on your needles, especially like maybe one of these, because they're all three of her summer patterns are suitable for using scraps. The color tip tee is more just like a solid color, but like scraps for the color tips. So your collar, your sleeve, cuff hem thingies, your hem, even maybe your hem is not one of it, but you could make your hem. And there's like a pocket you can add on, which could have color, both the whole pocket or just the edge of the pocket. People have done both. You can go on projects. People have really fun projects for that also on Ravelry, because you can do like any kind of combination. Some people do like matching or all of them different, or, like it's very, very fun. The stripy turtle tank is obviously great for a set of minis. Most sizes you can make with just 5 minis plus a skein, all the way up to like size 7 or whatever I'm making is one skein in a set of minis. It is cropped and it is fitted, so so just depending on what you want. The slanty stripes also, I think you need more yarn, but you can do that with a set of minis plus some extra yarn, because it's slightly wider stripes, and also it's more boxy fit. So all that to say, please join us if you would like to. It's been really fun getting to see people's start of projects. Some people have not cast on yet, which obviously that's fine. Cast on day was Friday the 3rd. I got mine cast on and I will continue to work on it. I do not think it will be my only Emily Curtis pattern to be made during this little session here. I would really like, that's what I was going to tell you, is I think the second thing I will cast on is I really do want to have a color tip tee, and I think I might do tipless and do it in a variegated. I was originally going to do it in Cashmere Caverns, in Jewel Vixen, which is this one here, and like equally beautiful vibes. But I don't know, there's something that's really been drawing to me about this, and that I really don't want any texture in the knit for this one in particular. And so the color tip tee is great for that, because it's just going to be all one. What I could do, and I could put tips on this, like I definitely could do like pink cuffs or blue, or make my pocket pink, or you know, something. But I definitely think I'll add the pocket, and I will decide. I don't have to decide right away, so I will decide later on if I want to, you know, add anything, enhance any particular color as I see how it knits up. But I think what I'll try to do is clear out 1 or 2 of my needles, and then I'll probably cast that on. Yes, and I am making, for my Stripey turtle tank, a size 7, which is 44 inches. Recommended ease is 0 to 2. You know me, in between sizer, so I'm just a little bit extra of negative ease, which is fine because my waist is smaller than my bust. And I am using 3.5 millimeter needles. I think that the pattern calls for 3.25, and Emily is a really loose knitter, so I cannot achieve her gauge in 3.25. I cast on a swatch and I was like, there's no way. So, and I mean, I knew that because I knit with her and I know that she's a really loose knitter. So I just went ahead and just upped one size. I didn't do another swatch. I figured it would be fine. And you do your, because it's a twisted rib bottom, you just do your ribbing in the same needle size as the rest of their body. And I'm pretty sure I'm going to be really close on gauge. I will do a gauge swatch and a couple more stripes, or a gauge measurement, just to make sure. What I did do is accidentally cast on a couple less stitches than accidentally. I don't even know what was going on. I think I just, again, read a different number. I hadn't circled all the numbers I needed. And I didn't even cast on one size smaller. I cast on like an in-between. Like I'm like 5 stitches or 6 stitches less, like something very stupid. So I am not gonna, I like figure that out. I don't even know why. I just like recounted at some point. And I was like, I'm not gonna redo this ribbing, obviously. So because my waist is smaller than my bust and this is cropped, I am going to just add 3 increases to get those 6 stitches. So like just 1 on each side 3 times, really close to where my bust is starting, so that the fullest part of my bust will be the right size, and it'll be fine. It's not even going to make it much of a difference at all. But that's a great tip if you're doing it as bottom up. So if you're doing a bottom up thing and you just, you know, like if your waist is smaller, it's a really easy way to do that, is you just add them here. You don't have to do full, like, there's so many ways to do bust darts, but one way to do it, especially in something striped like this, is I wouldn't want to add like that ledge, which you can do, to do short rows to give you like basically a short row cup shelf for your bust, which just gives you more room. I just want to do a couple increases, will just allow my bust to stretch that part a little bit more than the bottom. I am making this with obviously Explore Knits and Fibers mini set plus linen in Denali sock. So I have 2 projects in Denali sock and 1 in Cashmere Caverns. Normally I have 100 projects in Backloop Yarn Co. yarn, and I have none right now. Can you believe it? None. But 3 Explore Knits and Fibers projects. And that's all. So those are all my projects. Sorry, that was a really long episode to talk about 6 things. Let's share acquisitions and books and then be done for the day. I did buy one thing from the D-Stash Discord. And it's the Fiber Fox, who is a dyer based out of the UK. She is who I am getting my Advent. I did buy an Advent this year from her. That is Mike's Christmas present to me. And it is something I saw on the D-Stash, and it was there for a couple of weeks, and I finally decided I wanted to have it. And I bought it from a very nice gal named Caitlin, who we met in line when we were at Naughty Lamb for the Roasted Yarn Crawl. So we know who each other are, and we did a little check-in and a little chat on Discord as well, so that was kind of fun. But this is called Water Nymph, and it is a merino nylon DK, 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon, 225 meters for 100 grams, which, you know, I don't know the math on that, 246 or something, maybe yards for 100 grams, something like that. So it's beautiful. She took pictures of it, and she was like, it's a little tealier in real life, but she's right. It's teal and blue. It's really more blue leaning, I think, than teal leaning. What would I call truly teal in my stash? I don't even know. Teal's a hard one. This is teal. Also bluey teal. Is this River Anduin? Yeah. I would call this like a dark teal. These are more like lighter blue leaning. Anyway, doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. There it is. It's beautiful. The speckles are kind of like a really deep rusty brown. Some of them are like indigo, like really dark bluey purple on there. So you see those ones, and then these ones here are like kind of a rusty brown color. So pretty, and enough to make a t-shirt. So I don't know what I'll make with it. I didn't have plans when I bought it. I just wanted it. So what are you gonna do? I don't normally do that, but they were priced right, you know, and I wanted to try some of her yarn. What I might do is, like, I want to use them because they're super pretty, but I might reserve them until I get my Advent. And I did get a fingering weight Advent, but I might reserve them and maybe I'll do something with them together. I have not decided what I'm like going to dream about this Advent all year. I'm just going to keep planning. So maybe I'll just reserve these till next summer. Also, I have so many plans. I can't just throw in a rando. I mean, I can. You've met me before. I totally will. But not this time. So many plans. So I have I have 3 plus the Haley. So 4 tests on my needles. That's too many. You're very correct. I have 1 that is also coming soon. Don't have the pattern yet, and it's for something for Flock. I will cast it on as soon as I get the pattern because it's a shawl, but yeah, you're right. I need to get some of these things off the needles and not sign up for more tests for the rest of the summer, so I have more things to do. But like, I might have signed up for 1 more test last night. So I got a really long timeline again. I have a problem. It's okay. It'll be fine. Maybe I won't get into that one. Who knows? I would like to talk through books really fast. This was another big reading week because it was a big knitting week. So I read some of the 7th Wheel of Time this week for a couple of days just to get more hours in. I'm almost done the 7th book, which is called Crown of Swords. I am enjoying it. I just need to like spend more time doing it. One of the times I like to read that most is actually spinning, because I don't have to focus a lot. Like, I don't have to count or do anything, and there's a lot of stuff going on in these books, so I can kind of like space out and read. So getting something on my wheel will help. Wheel of Time, spinning, see? That's why. Okay, so I got a book from the library, and so I didn't realize it was the second in a series. So I already know like the outcome sort of what will happen for the first one, but you don't get really any allusions to what happened in the love story, but you meet the couple. Anyway, I will go back and read that. I put it on my TBR. And that's called Mr. Wrong Number, I think. And so the series is called Mr. Wrong Number. It's by Lynn Painter, and the second one is called The Love Wager. And I really loved this book. It was sort of like a romance book that had all the tropes in it. It was like, yeah, sort of mistaken identity breaks up a relationship. There's like a one bed trope. There's like a friends to lovers. There's like a bet, you know, a love wager. Like, I mean, it's all the things, which obviously it's called The Love Wager, but like it's all the things rolled into one. And I had a great time reading it. I thought it was pretty fun. Good contemporary romance. Essentially, a girl who is still getting over a really terrible breakup, and a guy who really wants a long-term relationship, end up meeting, becoming friends, and putting out this love wager that is like, if either one of them, and they're both on like a serious kind of dating website, if either one of them finds love before Christmas, they give each other a thing. So like he had, you know, it's something like she gets a vacation from him, and she has like a signed baseball that she would give him, but that he would really value. It was fun. It was really fun. Just the dynamics, the real, yeah, just all the things. Seriously, there's every single like romance trope in this one book. You should read it. It's very fun. It was fun. I will read the first one, even though I know like the couple that ends up together, but also like as soon as you start reading this, you know the couple that's going to end up together. None of this is a freaking mystery, right? So that's not why we're reading them. Okay, second book I read was, so I started reading this series, and I read the two main books, the prequel, which was actually in the first audiobook that I got from the library because it included it. And then I read one of the epilogue. It's not even a sequel. It's just like a series of deleted scenes or epilogues. So, and that is the Jacksonville Rays series, which the first book is called Pucking Around. It is a why choose hockey romance. If you don't know about this book, like it's been all over like BookTube and Book Talk and other places. I think it was released 2022, maybe. Anyway, the first one, it's really long, like way unnecessarily long for a romance. It's also a little bit like unnecessarily complicated, but also it's a why choose. So like, and it's also, I would not say unnecessarily, but like super smutty. I mean, this is like a book that's 85% of it is like sex scenes. Like there's like not a lot else going on. So if you have small ears nearby, or if you, you know, are reading, and don't read this in public. That's all I have to say. It's real steamy. And because the first one is a why choose, it is steamy with many people. So like, I don't often give something like five spicy peppers, because I really don't think a lot of things hit it, but like I would probably say this one is 5 spicy peppers. Like there's some extra things happening, and it's like a lot of people. I don't know, it's been on my list because like people talk about it, everybody talks about it, and I just want to know why everyone's talking about it. Yeah, I get it. Like not that it's a really eloquently written book, but like it's pretty complicated. There are a lot of people who have really strong feelings about this both ways too. I think that's what's interesting, is like there are a lot of people who get partway through and are just like, I hate this book, like I'm throwing it in the garbage. I will say a lot of reviews say the first one, which is called That One Night, is like the prequel, and it's pretty short, and it's how the main girl falls in love or meets the first guy and has this sort of like serendipitous moment. And everybody loves that because it's juicy, but it's so sweet, and you feel like good things could happen for these two. And then you get into the book and you're like, why are there all these other people involved? And there are some people that really didn't like it, like really hated that. And there's like a lot of, if you read on Goodreads, there's very mixed reviews on this. I have read a lot of Why Choose, I think is what the category is called now. It used to be called, like, you could find them in a reverse harem. One woman, many men, because we're reading the books and that sounds more fun. I have read several of them, and like, it's not a bad one for this genre. But everyone's like, why does she need more than one man? And I was like, well, it's actually a lot more complicated than that. Because like, two of the guys are best friends. It's a whole thing. It's a whole thing. If you're interested, I actually found it rather enjoyable, though yes, it's very smutty. There are like parts where I was like, okay. That's how we solve all our problems. Everybody just, gets it on. So the second one is called Pucking Wild. It's different person. It's her, the main girl's best friend is the main character. A really different set of circumstances. She has a super emotionally abusive, manipulative, narcissistic, soon-to-be ex-husband who she can't get a divorce from. And it's a reverse age gap. So she's like older. She's like 10 years older than the guy that falls in love with her, who's also on this same hockey team. And he's the sweetest little puppy. And it's kind of sweet. Also spicy, very spicy. But just the two of them. And then Pucking Ever After Volume 1 is really just like a series of vignettes of the main couple throughout like later parts of their life. They have kids. There's things like that, which it's just like, it's like a really long epilogue. It was sweet. It's not very long. There's another one that's a lot longer, and I don't know. Maybe I'll read it. Maybe I won't. Maybe I'll just let them be. I don't know. I'll see. Maybe I'll just read it this week to get it done with. Who knows? Okay. Another thing I've been reading for a while is, by a while, I mean, I think I actually started reading this before last week's episode and forgot to talk about it, but this one is called Archangel's Lineage. This is a Guild Hunter book. It's number 16, maybe the last one. It feels kind of like a wrap-up by Nalini Singh. I haven't talked about a Nalini Singh book in a while because I've read all of her books, so I'm only reading them as they come out. But this is, the Guild Hunter series is essentially just like, guild hunters are people who hunt down rogue vampires and not necessarily kill them, but like bring them back to their masters. Vampires are indebted to angels. There's angels in the society and archangels. Anyway, this particular guild hunter falls in love with an archangel, and then a big plot ensues of like power dynamics in the world that they're in, uprisings, wars, evil incarnate. Like, I mean, it's a lot of stuff. I have read all of them. I feel like this is the last one. I didn't actually go look to see if like it is going to be her last one, but I enjoyed it as a wrap up. If it is, I feel satisfied with where things are. But most of this series follows the same character, though you'll like every couple of books it would really focus on just like one other set of characters, and the main characters would only have like little appearances. But this one was really back to just like the main couple, which is Elena and Raphael. Okay. Let's go to okay, I read 2 more. This was a lot. Seriously. But I read 2 more of the Icehome series, which is the Ruby Dixon series I was reading the other week. I read Gail's Family, which is really a 3.5. It's a pretty short one. Gail is the oldest woman, she's past menopause, so she can't have babies. So she's like not resonating finding a mate, but she does have like a person who's her person who's also older. And there is like an extra baby. Through circumstances of what I won't give away for the first one anyway. So she becomes the adoptive mom, and it's like them just figuring out how she's going to do that. It's very sweet. And then the 4th one is Angie's Gladiator, and Angie is like the one that is impregnated, like wakes up impregnated from her pod, and it's maybe a dozen years after she was abducted, and she has no memory of, was she just in stasis the whole time? She has no idea. And yeah, so she falls in love, and also then like it's an interesting situation because she definitely falls in love with someone and he falls in love with her, but then they're nervous that they're their little parasites that let them resonate to find a mate won't match them with each other. Because she's pregnant, she can't resonate, because the whole point of resonating is to make a baby. So it's an interesting little dynamic. This one was like a little bit, I felt like she was just a little bit whiny. Maybe she was not as complex of a character as some of them. None of them are very complex, let's be very clear. These are very quick little, again, it's like a TV episode. Like you would just get all of this in an episode. And it was fine. I'm gonna read all of them because they are very mindless while you're knitting. Like I don't have to think very hard. Nothing is gonna surprise you and shock, like, you know, you aren't gonna be like, where did that come from? Which is fine. Okay, that was a lot about books. Sorry. I just thought that Pucking Around was, I had to give you some context, and also it was crazy. I feel project saturated, but also really satisfied to finally have something off the needles. I didn't really finish anything in April other than my Sophie shawl and something you haven't seen yet, which I will be able to talk about shortly. And I feel like I just cast on a bajillion things. And so it's nice to feel like Scotchbroom's almost done. I have one other secret project, which I think I'll be able to talk about soon too, which that is getting well underway, like pretty far. And then, you know, like just getting past the yoke, getting all of my test knits cast on so that I'm like on, and finally getting the knit along on. I do, you know, it's open. So if you would like to join, please do. I'll put the Discord link at the bottom here or at the top of the description section, and introduce yourself, say hi, let us know, send pictures, that kind of thing. I do think I would like to do probably just through Discord, because there's a voice chat channel that you can have your face on. We'll plan to do a little Discord hangout once or twice during this, where I will just get on. If you want to, you can. If no one joins me, then I'll just be knitting by myself. That's okay too. And I'll announce those, but probably like maybe a month in, and then the 2 months in, and that'll be like a month before Flock. So I think that's probably the timelines, and I'll give you more details before then. Please let me know what you have been knitting on. I feel like there's so many, like, okay, yes, I maybe did sign up for another test. I don't know if I'll get into it, but it's not a summer top. There are a lot of tank tops and other things though that like have been popping up to be knit. A lot of really pretty things, a lot of tests that I'm like, I can't. Like Samantha Guerin just put out a tank top test call that is so cute. It's really cute. It's got those kind of like wispy vine things that go down the side. It's like a less lace than Joji Locatelli's new one, but kind of similar, different finishes. It's not the same, but you know, similar vibes. And I really like that, but I was like, I absolutely can't. Though I do have yarn I would use for that, which is my alpaca linen. One of these, where are they at? Here, one of these guys. So yeah, I don't know, maybe I'll make it when it comes out. Yeah. Oh, and if you did not grab your, I totally forgot to talk about this last week. If you did not grab your summer collection tonals yarn from, I have two yarn things. Paisley Knits. She's going to keep it open until Sunday, I think. She's at like 75% capacity. So unless she gets a flood of orders, but I think a lot of people got their orders in already. But she has these really, I'll put pictures up, really bright, fun summer colors happening. And I cannot wait to get my order. I like want to add more to it, but I also need to be good. Flock is coming, and I know I'm gonna get other yarn, so I just can't. And hopefully they come back, but I got some of her new bases. I'm really excited to try them. And then the Gilmore Girls collection launches, I don't even know, for the third time, maybe more than that, from Treehouse. She's revamped a couple of things. She's added a couple of things. She's brought, I don't remember what she calls them, but like cold brew is from a different collection that she's bringing into this one, because Lorelai and Rory are coffee addicts. And so that's really fun. I'll also put a little picture here. These colors are unbelievable. She has so many good tonals and variegateds. I don't think I'll put a big order in for this one just because I can't, again, capacity wise, but I definitely, she has, and she's not the only one. Coley actually has something similar. Like she has a swimming Surrey. I think that's what she calls it, her swimming Surrey DK. And I think it's a slightly different blend, but Lauren from Treehouse has Magnolia Bloom or something, Magnolia something. Anyway, which is a DK weight fuzzy yarn. And I want to make, I don't know what I want to make exactly, but I think I want to get enough yarn to make the Broom by Andrea Mowry, which is a pattern she released, I don't know, 3 or 4 weeks ago. That is made for a DK Surrey yarn. So not that you couldn't use other yarn in it, but like if, you know, I might as well try it. I also love an Andrea Mowry. I like the fit of a lot of Andrea Mowry's patterns. Which I know people have warned me. I've not made a ton of them, that her armholes tend to be a little bit smaller. So something I'll be looking out for. But in this particular case, like it's kind of a high necked, you know, loose fitting. Like you could really find any DK pattern you like and submit, you know, especially if it's got not a lot of texture, put this Magnolia into it. But I'm going to try this pattern probably. So, that's really my plan. I don't normally tell you that plan. I don't know what color I want to pick, but that's what's like really calling to me in the Treehouse thing. And I love Gilmore Girls. And so I think I want to pick like a color and her colors are so fun. They're really pretty. So, yeah, let me know you've been knitting on. If you want to join the Discord, please jump over there, chat with me. Otherwise, I mean, whatever else you want to talk about below, let me know. I am going to film maybe at like 1 or 2 others this week, like little shorties to talk about a couple of other topics. I don't want to forget, I will put the code below again. It's just A Naughty Mess, all capitals, for Carrie's Etsy store. If you want to get any of these with a 25% discount, not just this, anything on her Etsy store, 25% off. She's just a small woman, very, very small, very starting out, woman-owned business local to me that I am pitching for right now. There's not, I like her products. She gave me them. I gave some out at knit night to the girls, and I just think it's fun to support a local women-owned business. So if you also want to support her Etsy link is going to be below. The code for 25% off. Again, I get no kickbacks, but just fun for you. So let me know if you go and grab anything. That's very fun. I think that's exciting. So anyway, otherwise, I will chat with you all next week. Have a really good weekend, day, whenever you're watching this. And hopefully I will talk to you all soon. Bye.